Hi, welcome to another mind training session. Hope you're feeling well today. I hope that you're ready mentally to listen, concentrate, reflect, learn as we work together. Sit up straight. Close your eyes. Have a big breath in and a deep sigh. Just stopping right now. Stopping everything else. All the stuff that you do. Leave it aside. Taking time to sit, to become aware, and that awareness occurs on many levels. In many ways it occurs as a feeling. Right now you can feel your body. You can feel yourself in a space, an area, and you can feel that area. You can feel it as though it is wrapped around you. And you have a sense of feeling the whole world, the whole universe right now, as though it were wrapped around you. As though you are in it. There's a feeling to all of that. And there's also a feeling in your mind of how you are being. Right now. How is your awareness? Distinguish it. So this is the notion of being aware of being aware. Aware of all of this. Your body, breathing, in a space, in a universe, right now, feeling it all happen and being aware of that awareness. And then recognizing whether we can sustain that awareness. Staying with the recognition. Recognizing feelings. Feelings of presence. And recognizing whether our mind is stable enough to stay with the awareness of presence. And also recognizing whether you're trying too hard whether your approach is relaxed and open and trusting, and then your relationship to this practice. Are you being demanding of yourself? Do you have frustration or expectations of how this should go, or of what you want to get from it? We're bringing to this moment so much of our past, our insecurities, desperate need for comfort, desperate need for happiness. And yet, funnily enough, it all ends up as a story of self-cherishing. The story of me in my life. I want to get what I want. I don't want to experience things I don't like. Even when I'm meditating, it's a story of me. And just smile about it. We need to see that we've got this habit, and then we can make choices about it. It does become a bit silly, unnecessary, restrictive. Okay, have a big breath in and a deep sigh. Open your eyes. Well done. Okay, so we're going to summarize what we've been doing. We've been looking at the 8 worldly concerns, noticing this obsession, preoccupation, fixation with ourselves as a person in a world desperately needing certain things and then worrying about them. The desire for happiness and the fear of suffering. The desire to feel important, to be respected, even admired, and the fear of insignificance, not being noticed, not being validated. Desire for praise, affirmation, and a horrible, terrible fear of criticism, and desire for gain, and a strong fear of loss. And all of those stories are about me, this little me person inside my mind. And so almost all of my thinking is about that stuff. Even when it's about other people, like our family, for example, it's still usually about what we want to happen, versus what we don't want to happen, according to our rules. And so we can see then that most of our worrying thinking is about the issue of control. We want to control everything. We don't like things to get out of control. So, the self-cherishing, what do we do about it? First we have to distinguish it and acknowledge it and see it. And you have a fork in the road there. You can go into denial, and that will get you nowhere in life other than more mess, if you're willing to look at this stuff, to at least consider its possibility and consider whether you yourself are causing your own problems through these illusions, these delusional ways of being, well then, you have power. Now it's very difficult in the beginning when you see some of this stuff. You might not like it. That's okay, because that not liking is just one of the 8 worldly concerns again. I don't want to suffer, I want to be happy, or I want gain, I don't want to lose. So every time you have a reaction to something, just refer to those 8 points, those 8 worldly concerns, and see, I'm doing that one again. So that's how it works. Keep seeing yourself. Now remember, this is about self-awareness. Most people don't display excellent self-awareness, and they don't even realize what they're doing a lot of the time. And then they're caught in a struggle. So, I can do this, you can do this. We just need to keep noticing it and learning about it. Remember, this is not easy stuff. Okay, have a big breath in and a deep sigh. I'm going to read you some teachings as we chip away more at some of these issues. But while I'm doing it, you may as well do some slow, deep breathing. It's a really good way to counteract the anxiety that you might feel as you encounter challenging ideas. Slow, deep breathing is a way to become deeply relaxed. So, start doing this. Breathing through your nose, gently, slowly, smoothly, lightly, all the way in towards full, all the way out towards empty. See, even when I start talking about this breath, I start slowing down. That's the feeling we want to notice about this practice. Now don't push at the top or bottom. Hopefully you've been doing the breathing sessions as well. This whole course is designed to work together. We've really been studying the breath. And this slow deep breathing is one of the most important foundational practices upon which almost all other practices are built. And being relaxed is the foundation for almost all meditative awarenesses. Okay, so keep that slow deep breathing going. So the first thing we're going to look at today is one of the 8 verses of thought transformation. This is another series in mind training, and this is something I've been building towards for a while. We've just been doing the 8 worldly concerns. We've been distinguishing the self-cherishing mind, which is preoccupied with a whole lot of worries. And then we have a way to unlock that. And that is what the 8 verses of thought transformation are. Now, the 8th one, the last one, is the most telling here because it's directly relating to the 8 worldly concerns. So I'll read it to you. Now remember, this is mind training here. This is something that you would read as a verse to train your mind. It has that type of language. Okay. Unstained by the superstitions of the 8 worldly concerns, may I, by perceiving all phenomena, including myself, as illusory be released from the bondage of attachment. I'll read it again. Unstained by the superstitions of the 8 worldly concerns, may I, by perceiving all phenomena, including myself, as illusory, be released from the bondage of attachment. So they're mentioning the 8 worldly concerns here. They consider them superstitions, and that we are stained by these superstitions. Superstitions that are unnecessary. So, if I were to be unstained by the superstitions of the 8 worldly concerns, if I did not have them in my way of being, that's what they mean here. By perceiving all phenomena, including myself, as illusory. So this is the solution. Then I would be released from the bondage of attachment. And that's what those 8 worldly concerns are. They are attachments, desires and aversions, but ultimately fears, where we are attached to results for ourselves in a world. Okay, one more time. Unstained by the superstitions of the 8 worldly concerns, may I, by perceiving all phenomena, including myself, as illusory, be released from the bondage of attachment. Relax your breathing. Have a deep sigh. Now there are things to be understood with that verse, and it is the 8th and last verse of the 8 verses of thought transformation. And you would understand more by the time you've gotten to that 8th verse, better understanding the context of what it means. So don't worry, we'll do these 8 verses soon, and we'll spend more time analyzing them all. I'll try to explain and help you understand them, how they work and how you can apply them. I just want to give you a taste of it and see how they're relating directly to what we've just been working on. So we have the idea of distinguishing a problem, a behavior, a habit, the 8 worldly concerns, and then we move to the solution, the mind training about that. Now you can see from that verse, it's really important to get the idea of understanding the illusory nature of our mind. And that's what I want to keep highlighting, even if you find this difficult to grasp. So, I'm going to read to you more on this topic. This is from a book called I Am That by Nisargadatta Maharaj, written in about the 1970s or 80s, I think. So it's modern yogic philosophy, you could say. And it's one of my favorite books. I find it one of the most helpful. So in this book, it's in question-answer format. People ask him questions and then he gives answers. And he's explaining the nature of reality and the problematic misinterpretations of a deluded mind, which will always suffer. So, I think it's a good idea if you go back into slow deep breathing while I'm reading this to you. Just start getting that flowing, nice and relaxed. Okay. So the question is, whatever I may be in reality, yet I feel myself to be a small and separate person, one amongst many. And Maharaj, his answer, your being a person is due to the illusion of space and time. You imagine yourself to be a certain point, occupying a certain volume. Your personality is due to your self-identification with the body. Your thoughts and feelings exist in succession. They have their span in time and make you imagine yourself, because of memory, as having duration. In reality, time and space exist in you. You do not exist in them. There is no such thing as a person. There are only restrictions and limitations. All your problems arise because you have defined and therefore limited yourself. When you do not think yourself to be this or that, all conflict ceases. Any attempt to do something about your problems is bound to fail. For what is caused by desire can be undone only in freedom from desire. You have enclosed yourself in time and space, squeezed yourself into the span of a lifetime and the volume of a body, and thus created the innumerable conflicts of life and death, pleasure and pain, hope and fear. You cannot be rid of problems without abandoning illusions. Relax the breathing. Have a deep sigh. So this is what I've been trying to get at. We have this little me person inside our head who really believes that it is real, and that this world is real, and that this world is happening to this little person, this me person. We worry greatly about so many different things. We have so many worldly concerns in this world that we believe is real. And the concerns are mostly about self-cherishing. We really believe this me person is real, and we cherish this person so much. We worry about it deeply and constantly, and it's there in our thinking mind. So if you ever really become a meditator, you'll see that. Now, if we could just understand that that is all an illusion or a delusion, unnecessary and false, then we have a way of collapsing all of this problematic way of being. And the mind, which functions out of habit, can be trained to change and to let go of its fears. And one of the main ways to do this is to look at self-cherishing as the source of our problems and the area that needs to be transformed. We have a way of being. For most of us, it is a limited way of being, restricted and restrictive. And there's space and freedom within and around all of that. We just need to look in the right places. And there are many teachings by people who have experienced the freedom from these problems. Through practice, of course. That's what we're doing. Okay. Have a deep sigh. Thank you for today.